For fiscal year 2013-2014, the central government is projecting a small primary surplus of $33 million, the equivalent of 1% of GDP, and an overall deficit of $74 million, or 2.3% of GDP. The projected primary surplus is in line with the budgeted target of 1% of GDP, while the projected overall deficit amounts to a slight deterioration from the budgeted deficit target of 1.8% of GDP. Total revenue and grants are projected to be $901 million, some $28 million above budget, driven largely by unbudgeted inflows of $22 million from licenses and fees from the IBC and Shipping Registry, which we are proud to say we took back, and from $7 million in unfrozen dividends from Belize Telemedia. Tax revenue from traditional sources, import duties, business tax, and GST, together increased by $24 million. But this was offset by weaker than expected performance in other non-tax revenue areas, particularly in the repayments on old loans. On the expenditure side, total expenditure for fiscal year 2013-2014 is projected at $975 million, which is $41 million above budget. Current expenditure increased marginally by only $2 million, but there was a sharp rise of over $39 million in development expenditure. Driving up the capital spending was the large unbudgeted outlay of almost $15 million that we spent on street and drain rehabilitation countrywide. And for the Sugar Rose, the minister wanted to ask a follow-up question. That money came from the pockets of the central government, not from the EU, not from anywhere else, from the treasury of the central government, from the consolidated fund. So we spent $15 million for street and drain rehabilitation countrywide, for Sugar Road repairs after the incessant rains experienced over the last several months. Also adding pressure to capital spending were the costs of professional and legal services, amounted to $9 million. This, of course, was connected to what we had to pay for the debt restructuring and to the ongoing litigation on the nationalization of the two utilities. Rounding out the additional expenditure was the outlay of $10 million to purchase equity in the newly established National Bank of Belize